What's going on, everybody? This is 13 with Superior Mobile by 13, and I'm finally ready to unveil the trunk modifications of my 2011 Nissan Juke. I have always owned lifestyle vehicles, and this is certainly no exception. The Juke is a very unique vehicle with a turbocharged 4-banger. It allows me to get really good fuel efficiency, but it is a compact utility vehicle. It's normally a 4-seater, and for the longest time I just always folded down the back seat and used it sort of like a little flatbed back there, more of a station wagon. In the last year or so, it's really been converted over to a work truck out of a show car, so it is no longer pretty as much as it is functional. So I have embraced the work truck mentality and completely removed the back seat and instead created a bunch of storage space back here. At first glance, it really doesn't look like much has been changed. However, again, there is no back seat, just open storage. Before I go any further into this video, I'd like to point out that my entire budget for this job was $28. It is made almost entirely of recycled or upcycled materials, as that was extremely important to me. This is 3/4 inch plywood that used to be subflooring in our house and had to be removed. So of course there's a bunch of adhesive onto it, and there was quite a bit of termite damage left onto it as well. With a little bit of extra effort of grinding away the glue and cutting away the termite damage and the rot, I was able to salvage and utilize all of the wood necessary for that build over there out of our flooring, out of our old house. As for fabric and material, I still have a little backlog inventory of just leftover scraps from old jobs, and also all along there just leftover scraps from old jobs. With a little bit of extra effort and paying attention to sizes of scraps, I managed to only have to purchase 1.5 yards of black fabric, and everything else was left over from previous jobs. So with a total budget of $28, let me show off what I managed to accomplish. I had that rubber trunk mat previously. It's still utilized. It's really great, quick, easy cleaning. This is all the black carpet material that I purchased for this specifically because I wanted black carpet. It is easy enough to clean, although that certainly wasn't necessarily the top priority, because as you can see, the trunk is, all the plastic is super damaged, and I just don't care anymore. It is a work truck, so looking good is only as important as its functionality. With that being said, of course, I always like to push my design criteria and my experience building things and try out new concepts. So this was just as much as a playtime for me as it was an actual serious project. I created this entire thing cowboy style, which basically means that there was limited planning and most of it was step-by-step winging it, which is, for the record, extremely unprofessional, but it's a lot more fun and facilitates a creative process much more fluidly. Now let me remove one of these panels for you. As you can see, they lift up, no problem. These are made completely out of 3/4 inch plywood, and it has this beautiful seam right down the middle, so there is no cut lines. Everything is nice and tight and tolerant. This is just a real simple pull tab held on by a screw. The other side removes just as easily. They just basically press fit into place. And now we've exposed the significant increase in storage capacity that I previously did not have. Everything that you see here used to take up the entire storage container that was over the wheel well originally, so it is all now just stored over there, and I have a whole new open space. In case you're curious about what I always have with me in the vehicle, I have a jump pack, I have a digital multimeter, the jack. I always carry a breaker bar with the lug nut size socket on it. Got a good old knife, just because that always comes in handy. A breaker bar for, you know, putting onto that breaker bar. A power inverter, a tarp under there, a towel, and a bungee cord, my tie-down straps, which I use a lot. Usually those actually end up over in that container. And then a to-go container so that I don't have to use styrofoam containers at restaurants, complete with a fork and spoon. Now there is still a spare tire underneath all of this. Believe it or not, I can still access the spare tire. That entire assembly over there is all press fit in place. I'll show you that in a minute. So once that comes out, these panels will have to come out as well. As you see, they're just cut around this box, which is installed first, and it's held in by those little bolts, which I have the socket in there, and then those little bolts. Same on this side. They're over there, and there is one right there. So all of that, believe it or not, I have the hardware where I can just take that out and that whole thing slides over, and then I can remove that spare tire in the case of an emergency. Is it going to be easy? Is it going to be fun? Absolutely not. But generally, if you have a flat tire on the side of the road, it's a hell of a lot more fun to be able to do it quickly by yourself rather than have to wait for some tow truck to come and help you out. Self-reliance is king. Now, to make reference to that lifestyle vehicle again, as I'm sure you may know, I am an avid recycler. check that out. The recycling bin fits directly in there. I make frequent trips to the recycling drop-off facility because Pinellas County does not actually offer recycling services for my industrial complex. So basically I can just drop that in there and I have that, and I can fill up the entire trunk with recyclable materials, and I can fit so much more in here than I could previously. I'd like to say I designed it that way, but honestly, I kind of didn't. It just happens to fit because guess what? It's a lot of storage space. This storage is going to be particularly useful when I go camping because there's just going to be so much extra room to be able to put all of the necessary camping goodies. It can be cubbied away. Ooh, just wanted to showcase real quickly, discussing the type of materials that I utilized in order to not have to purchase new fabric. Obviously there's the black that I mentioned. We have the trunk liner that was left over. I have this gray that was left over from a build that I did probably back before 2010. This I believe is out of either the Maserati or the Porsche. It's the carpet, which is just this beautiful gray color with a little bit of a hint of blue. This, the same deal. This is actually another color, but complements very well, and it's utilized only on that divider panel. And then as we move over into this side, that's another color of charcoal and another color of charcoal and the black, and then the continuation of that gray there. So I've got so much leftover scrap carpet. You can tell that clearly I just needed to use the stuff. It's just sitting around because basically I have to buy fabric for every job that I do to match that vehicle. I've got $20 worth of black carpet and I've got $8 worth of hardware, and that's where all of the money went into this, since all of the wood was free and all of the upholstery mostly was free. So talking about these little storage containers here, again, this whole assembly is actually press fit into place. There's like a cleat that runs along there that's held in by the existing frame rail. That was what the seat bolted to, and it has these beautiful little trim panels. And then this is this little trim panel that I made that is actually just out of foam, and then I upholstered it that way I could get that nice compound shape, and it just keeps stuff from falling down into there. These sections though I absolutely love because they're just open space. It still allows me plenty of room out here. I primarily use this for like when I refill my water gallons. I can put up to 8 gallons of water right across there, but also any sorts of big heavy long objects or whatever fit perfectly in here. These spots are absolutely superb for 5-gallon buckets. I can fit 2 5-gallon buckets per side, so I can get a total of 20 gallons of stuff here. So far it's been used mostly for mulch transfer or concrete, rock, sand, that sort of fill sort of stuff, and it holds it in place so you don't have to worry about them tipping over because I got this nice deep lip right here. Something that I'm really proud of on this is that there's essentially no exposed hardware other than the bolts on the inside there. This is all held together by hidden hardware and with no seams. It was also really important to me that there would be no seams along any of the tops because this is going to be the highest wear point, things falling across this or pushing across this, and this is all really strong. Like I said, it's that 3/4 inch subflooring material, so it's really strong, held together I believe by, what are those, like 2 or 2.5 inch wood screws. Everything is held together really strong, specifically so that I could just throw concrete blocks in here. That was the mentality behind the whole design and build process. There's no exposed wood, everything is upholstered, there's no exposed screws. I've got these beautiful 45-degree transitions with tucked seams, which is a little challenging, I have to admit. And then even this panel right here was the hardest one to upholster. There is no seams anywhere on that, so that came out beautiful. I'm very pleased with all of that. There is one thing that I don't like about this trunk, and I'm not even gonna put words to it on this video. If you follow along on Instagram and watch my stories, I whined about it for a day or two, but the fact of the matter is it's still a work truck. So even little design errors that I may have made in this process, they just, you know, it serves its purpose. I'm super pleased with the result of this. It's been really useful for how I utilize my vehicle. As far as weight is concerned, that back seat is really super heavy, so honestly I think I probably ended up with a net 0 change. I've got maybe 1 to 2 sheets of that 3/4 ply, so we got maybe 80 pounds added, but I dare say that those seats were 80 pounds when you pull them off. There's a lot of steel that was unnecessary. Same with the seat belts. All that stuff just got pulled out and thrown away. All right, that's what I gotta say on that one. This was a nice little little conversion. I'm really pleased with the way that it came out. Not bad for a little hobby build, you feel me? I'm gonna try and end this video with some pictures of this Jukie's all loaded up so you can see how I actually really truly do abuse this thing. It's a wonderful car. It's an even better truck. I still get amazing gas mileage when I am filled to the brim with concrete. And I love the fact that people still make fun of it and call it the ugliest car in the world because I think she's beautiful. This is 13 with Superior Mobile by 13. Thank you so much for watching my little conversion video of my Nissan Juke into a truck. Have yourselves a wonderful day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.